Have you ever questioned your existence? Will you ever find love? Have you wondered if there are limits to human creativity? If you have asked yourself any questions of this kind, we have the answers to all your problems. All the correct paths for you.
Only kidding, dude. Let's rock!
Hello, folks, and welcome to the one and only show that's called The Alpha Idiots. We are here to bring you some special news and reports today about really good discussions, but, it's not only going to come from me, because that would be a really boring and monotonous monologue. So with me today, I have the two capped Southern gentlemen. Up to my left, I have Mr. Chris Trucker.
How's it going, everybody? Hope y'all had a great week. We took a week off, but we're back.
And then we also have the other capped brother who is reclined so fine, it looks like he's in the summertime, Mr. Jared.
Hey.
So,
Jared, did you know, Jared, that wearing Carhartt shirts doesn't actually mean you do any work?
This is true. This is true. I wear them just for looks.
Exactly.
Today was a Sioux Falls, South Dakota day.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a fucking Salvation Army fine, dude. Oh my gosh. So today, guys, we were kind of talking a little bit of the pre-show of Game of Thrones. Now, we are aware that it is a show that took its time in having a interesting finale. Controversial, I think, would be the best word, if I'm not mistaken. Except 2 out of 3 of us here have seen all of it. Mr. Chris Trucker here has not, but we would like to discuss
Still on season 6.
Still on season 6, and so he's still in the hot zone. So, because I know some of you guys haven't seen the show. Jared brought this up. Some of you guys haven't seen the show until HBO Max came out, where you can just buy the subscription and watch the whole damn thing. Now, a little bit of backstory for myself. I watched it week to week. I remember I watched episode 1, the pilot, and just went from there, and I tried to convince every single... Oh, my God.
Hello.
Is this the man? Whoa!
It is I.
Oh, shit. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a surprise special guest for you. It is Mr. Ben Rollins, if you don't mind me doxing you here.
Absolutely.
But Ben, how you doing?
Okay. I am doing great. Just got off work. Saw you fine gentlemen on, and I was like, well, let's see what the discussion is today.
So,
The more the merrier, my man.
we have to refine the ratio here. So we were talking about the HBO classic that is Game of Thrones.
Absolutely.
3 out of 4 of us now here have seen all of it. Now, just to tell you, Ben, Chris hasn't finished. He's on season 6. Holy shit. What is this coalescence? Everyone is coming in at one time here.
4 has entered.
Yeah, exactly. Player 5 has entered the game. So we really, this is so crazy because Jared and I and Chris, off and on a little bit. Jared and I have been talking for about 30 minutes before we started actually, oh my gosh, almost, recording. So you guys came in right as we pressed record. Basically, this is like the start of the show.
Absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Game of Thrones. Now, Dave, where are you with Game of Thrones?
So an ex of mine forced me to watch it, and I think
No spoilers.
I never really cared for it.
Okay, that's fine.
Finished it, though?
No, I think we got to the red wedding, and that was it.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Okay. That and you broke it. You broke it. That's one of the best parts of the show.
That is like literally the best part of
I mean, I never
Arguably.
cared for it to begin with, so
Fair enough.
Gotcha.
Fair enough.
Did you not see Daenerys's tits?
I don't even know which one Daenerys is.
The dragon,
you
the
gotta
dragon
watch it,
chick, the
bro.
dragon chick.
You
Oh
gotta
yeah,
watch
at the very beginning of it. Yeah, I mean, I like that part. I mean,
Who doesn't?
right?
Oh my
man.
god!
But real.
It's the whole reason why any man watched the show.
I mean, that's the
Look,
whole
Ava was
brother
like,
on
yeah, I was
on
about to, dude, I
sister
knew
thing.
it.
That
I
was
like,
just
Ava
like,
saw the brother sister thing and he quit right there.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's funny because in later seasons, I mean, I would probably argue around season 5 or 6, there's a huge dip in the sexualization of the female characters. And I think that was just like a tone change in HBO overall. Because, like, I don't know if you guys remember, but like
they went the other way. There's a scene where you come in and the dude's got his whole fucking dick and balls, and he's like, it's
oh yeah,
warts.
there's that. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
That's
But I
true.
mean, I would say that. I mean, because back in the day, you would have Deadwood, Sopranos. Trying to think of other like hard HBO shows.
True Blood.
True Blood.
True Blood.
They would
Love
go
that.
so hard on the sex because it's HBO and they could.
Right.
And no,
Right.
but in all honesty, especially with Game of Thrones, it came to a point for me. I was like, bro, we get it. This dude fucks. I don't need to see that every time we cut
Well,
back to him.
So that's the thing is, I think because they kind of slowed it down as the show went on, and I really
Yeah.
think it was a selling point. It was, please come watch our show. If anything, there's naked women. Please come watch our show. That's what I kind of feel like it was. Like, because there's a lot of it in season 1. Like, it's just constantly. It's like 3 or 4 scenes in every episode. And then like
absolutely.
season 2 is, 2 or 3 every episode. And season 3 is where they're just like, okay, all right, y'all are hooked at this point. You guys should watch it. Now we're just going to get into the story. And that's what I felt like the process went. I think that's personally, I don't know. I think that's
one of the hottest
My
scenes.
dogs are up under the covers.
Oh, that's all right. Well, I think one of the hottest scenes that they ever did in the whole show was when Littlefinger was with that prostitute that was really famous that everyone wanted to sleep with, the redhead, and she was with that other chick, and he was basically giving her pointers on like how to like make this work better.
Yeah.
But the whole conversation was a metaphor for power dynamic, and I was like, bro, this is some pimp ass shit, like literal pimp shit. It was so cool. I was like, but you could tell that you'll see where the character goes, Chris. But I'm saying, like, overall, he's a piece of shit, but like I did like how he didn't treat his hoes like cattle or something. Like, you never saw the guy be a dick
the little
to
midget
his
guy?
product. No, that Littlefinger was the conniving guy who betrayed Eddard
Lord
Stark.
Baelish.
Lord Baelish, yeah.
I'm at the point.
What show
I'm
are
at
we
the point
talking
where
about?
This is Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Okay, because I remember
he's so out of the
Peter
Peter
Peter-
Dinklage.
Dinklage. So we're not talking about him.
No.
Okay,
No,
because he
the
was
dude
cool.
we're talking
That
about
was,
a dude nicknamed
Tyrion.
a dude named Littlefinger, but his name in the show is Lord Peter Baelish. But
But yeah, his street name is like Littlefinger, like his hood name, but like
He's from the
his rapper name.
fingers.
Well, no, because he's
Right,
called
right.
Littlefinger because he has his finger in every single like person's pie. Like, he's always like,
no, it tells you it's because
Yeah,
he's
he talks about that. He got the name he was from the fingers.
oh,
Like,
is
it was
that
a
what
little
it is?
section. Yeah, he said it's a really stupid play on words, but
Yeah.
that's where he got the name.
I
And he
get
was
it.
little. He was like smaller than everybody else.
I'm
He
at
was
the
from the
point
fingers,
right
so he
now
was
where
Littlefinger.
he's pretending that he didn't know what the fuck is that? He's pretending he didn't know Ramsay was a complete psychopath when he married Sansa off to
Oh
her.
yeah. Oh man,
That's what
Where are
I
you?
heard.
Where are you in the story?
start of season 6.
Oh,
Well, no, I'm episode 7, season 6.
Prepare
okay,
yourself.
all right.
So, but we were kind of talking about like just like finales and TV shows in general. But Game of Thrones. Now, Davo, I don't want to make you feel excluded in this conversation. So let me just ask you this, man. Who was the hottest female you saw on that show?
Oh, the blonde dragon chick.
Yeah,
Aw,
for sure.
shit.
I mean, dude. I mean, what else
Enough
can you
said.
say? I mean,
Enough said.
I mean, bro. I mean,
For
she
sure.
was by, just wow. Yeah.
Hey, but you want to know something? The you know who else I thought was pretty hot is the girl who ended up being Daenerys's like advisor, the one with
Oh,
the
the
little
one that
curly
she,
hair.
Yeah, I
the
know
one
you're
she
talking
got
about.
Oh,
the
Natalie
Boy.
something. Hold on.
Yeah.
Boy,
The character name. What's the character name?
she dropped that robe in that bedroom.
Oh my god.
She's the one that speaks like 19 languages.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The smart one.
Mm.
Natalie Emmanuel is her
Yeah,
name.
that's
and her
her.
name on the show was Missandei.
That's right.
Missandei,
Missandei.
No, she
Yeah.
is drop dead. I totally agree with you on that one, Bob. She is absolute fire. It's her, and then for me, she's definitely a top contender. But it was also Natalie Dormer, who was Marjorie Tyrell.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
Princess of Thorns.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
when she was with Ramsey in that tent, I was like, that's not fair. She's
Yeah,
beautiful.
see, I don't
She's
know who
absolutely beautiful.
any of these characters are. I mean,
I know, man. I'm sorry.
I was
Better
kind of
start
forced to watch the show, and
better start
really,
Googling, and then you'll
Yeah,
want to go
he's a-
back and watch all seasons.
He's gonna be Mr. Skin that. Just look at the timestamps on his HBO.
Yeah.
Max.
I mean, I'm also one of those guys where I'm not a Walking Dead fan.
Oh, that's
Oh,
okay.
I was
that-
for like the first
That
2
dropped
or
in
3.
quality so fast.
Yeah.
Like,
You know why that is?
Just,
You know what? This is true. It's because Frank Darabont, the showrunner, who, by the way, directed Green Mile, Shawshank Redemption, The Mist. And
Those
Yeah.
movies are great,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This guy knows what he's doing. So
right?
he gets the show, and there was a huge power struggle when the show was taking off after the first season between him and AMC. And essentially, he
Right.
just bowed out. It was like, y'all are bitches, and I ain't going to deal with your shit. So it went to a different showrunner. And that's why in season 3 on, that entire show has a completely different,
'cause,
pacing,
like,
motif, message.
Yeah.
And what was so great, I felt about the first 2 seasons, I mean, the first couple seasons, the seasons after kept that on, was that if a character made a decision, like they made X decision, and maybe an episode later, or even that same episode, the Y result of that poor decision would come up. So, there's one moment in season 2 where Carl, the kid, refuses to kill a walker. Well, he's about to kill him, then he's stuck in the mud, but he lets it live, essentially. He's like, oh, it's just going to get stuck there. But because he let it live, that particular walker ambushes one of the main characters of the show and eats him. And I'm like, oh, shit. If he wasn't
Damn
you
it,
can
big
tell
Carl.
somebody put some thought into the writing.
Exactly. And there's also a whole plot in the second season with one of the characters' daughters. They're looking for her, and then you find out where she is, and you're like,
With that old man on the farm.
that Herschel, the guy who didn't fully understand the whole aspect of what, he had good intentions, but he just didn't get it. And then when they reveal what happened,
yeah, that part was so heartbreaking.
bro, that fucking sucked. Carol, that
Yeah.
character has been through so much shit. Abusive
Yeah.
husband, abusive drunk husband. That happens to her daughter. Then there's a bunch of other shit that precedes that, and I mean, but what didn't click with you with Walking Dead though, Dave? At least in the first part of the show.
It was so slow. I mean, it was just okay. We're walking. Okay, we're walking. Okay, we're walking. Hey, guess what? Next episode, we're gonna walk some more.
You needed more
And-
plot. You needed more.
Yeah,
Interesting
it just okay. So, recently started watching WandaVision.
Oh, we were just
The
talking
first
about that.
first couple episodes were it was like, what's going on here?
Mm.
And then it's just like, oh,
Exactly, bro.
Yeah,
I'm so with you right now.
and then it brought me in. It's just like, okay, I'll give it one more, and then that one more I gave it was just like, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When we watched Mandalorian,
Oh yeah.
first what was it, episode or two, it was just like, I mean, it's novel,
Mhm.
but
Cute.
not a lot of, it's cute, it's novel, not a lot of plot, and then it was just like plot. Yeah.
How big of a Star Wars fan are you before
I'm
The
not.
Mandalorian?
I'm
See,
not.
that's what I
I
was
mean,
gonna.
so I've watched the movies, but I'm not really a huge Star Wars fan.
I think The
And
Mandalorian was at least partly made for diehard fans to just find Easter eggs.
I'm not doubting that. Not even
Yeah,
a little bit.
but I think it's also
Um,
I think it's one of the greatest vehicles ever created to bring in mainstream audiences. That isn't
oh
a
yeah,
Star Wars fan.
most definitely.
Like
Yes.
when
I
you have
agree.
something cute and cuddly like that little green bastard, like that just
Grogu.
that
Yeah.
He has the name.
bro. Listen, man. I work like my workforce, my coworkers. They are all. I mean, I would say the ratio is probably 85% female in my line of work.
Mhm. Right.
And so you're talking about like college women who went to college, like college women who just like stick to like what they know. Like they don't try
Educated.
yes, but they don't try into the
Basic
sci-fi. They're
bitches.
you always ask you always ask them, have you seen X? And like, oh no, that's more my boyfriend's Frey. Like he's more into the Marvel thing. He's more into the Star Wars thing. But then Mandalorian drops,
Right.
and they see that cute little green thing, and I'm
Correct.
talking, dude. These people are fronting so hard because they got all the merch
Yep.
for Mandalorian.
Yep.
They ain't ever see
Yeah.
episode 4. They don't know where the
Right.
fuck the source material is. But that's fine.
Right.
I mean, I'm not throwing shade, and it's not a sexist comment, all you SJWs. It's just an observation of like whenever you have. I'm serious. Like, how often would you talk to a female, and they haven't seen anything of a science fiction or nerdy like?
So
Go ahead.
my my ex that forced me to watch Game of Thrones, she was a Star Wars nerd,
Mm.
like super super, and it wasn't the fact that I didn't care. I mean, I just really wasn't like super. I had watched the movies prior to,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't like hardcore about them. You know what I mean? I watched them. Big deal. I mean, okay, they're a great movie, they're a great series, but I wasn't like, I don't have to have, Star Wars bed sheets. Like she
See, I
would have
get- I
like,
get
you
what you're
fan
saying.
you fan shaming now. But I got him right here.
No.
Yeah.
See, because I'm that way. Like I have no merchandise, never really got into the games, never worn a T-shirt, like nothing like that. But I'll debate the politics of the Outer Rim with you.
Bro,
right?
let's go. I'm there. Fucking Camino is an unsanctioned planet.
Oh, here we go.
The Trade Federation did nothing wrong.
They did nothing.
The
Yeah,
fact that you think Camino is a planet at all says a lot about you.
oh shit, I know
It
something.
may not even exist.
It may not even exist. Bro, that needs to be a shirt. That needs to be a deep cut shirt. What Ben just said
dude.
of the Trade Federation was
Federation
right
did
or like
nothing
did nothing wrong. That needs to be
There's a
deep
whole
cut shirt.
subreddit called Empire Did Nothing Wrong, and I don't know if it was in that subreddit, but I saw the other day somebody made like PVC raised patches of all the Outer Rim planet. There may have been some core systems too, but it was all the planets from Star Wars, and that they were made to look like they were patches from national parks.
Oh, that's dope as fuck.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna buy one, but I got distracted. It's on Reddit though. I'm sure you shouldn't have trouble finding it.
That's
if you got
pretty
Reddit.
cool. I mean, I've been a Star Wars fan ever since my first memory as a kid was when I was 4, and it was the opening shot from Episode 4. Was the Star Destroyer
yeah.
going overhead? After the
Hell
crawl. That's
yeah.
the first thing I can remember. Beige. It was a projector
Dang.
TV with a beige wall, and I
Oh,
just
yeah, I can
remember
see it
seeing that.
now.
I can just remember that coming overhead, and I was like, from then I was hooked. In
So-
recent years, like we've talked about before, but sorry, go ahead, Davo.
oh no, see, when I was a kid, I was all about the X-Men cartoon series,
Hell yeah.
and as a younger adult, when the X-Men Fox series came out, I was just like gung ho about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they slowly destroyed my childhood as a whole because of what they did to X-Men.
So let me
And-
wait. Who here has seen most, if not all, the X-Men films?
I haven't seen the Dark Phoenix, but I don't really care for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
it was hot garbage.
so Chris,
Yeah,
you
that's
haven't
what I
seen any of or most of them at all? Anything?
I never really got
Jared?
into it, man.
No, not really.
They are. The list is 1, 2, Days of Future Past, First Class, then Days of Future Past. That's it. You can kind of cut out after there. They've made like 6 or 7 movies. There's only like 4 that are worth watching. I feel because I
And
mean,
see,
so the
they
first one isn't really that
destroyed
great. But,
Deadpool.
oh yes, they did. They totally.
I'm sorry.
yeah. Oh, and the
I'm-
Deadpool movies. Those are good too.
Yeah. So
think the only
what?
one I've seen is the one where Halle Berry played Storm.
There's 3 of those.
Oh well, there you go.
Wait, did she have? Wait, no, I don't know if you remember, but did she have short or long hair?
Sure.
Didn't she have short hair in all of them?
No, she didn't. In the first one, she has like the storm all the way down to her ass white. The second one,
it
she
may
has
have
like kind of
been,
a bob, like she's kind of like cuts off here. And the third, she has like a pixie cut.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, dude. When I think about Halle Berry, hair ain't got nothing to do with it.
I just think of her Oscar-winning performance, Monsters Ball,
There you go.
Swordfish.
There you go.
Swordfish.
and Swordfish. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's another one, Davo. I mean, because because what stemmed this conversation? I'm so glad you're bringing this like kind of together. Is that what stemmed this conversation between Jared and I was how we didn't feel fulfilled with how Game of Thrones proceeded, and you yourself
Okay.
as an X-Men fan didn't like
Right.
what happened to the series.
Right.
Now,
And
go ahead, please.
what Kevin Feige and God, what's his name again?
Dave
Happy.
Filoni.
No,
Oh,
Mandalorian.
yeah, the guy that started Mandalorian,
John Favreau.
John Favreau.
John Favreau. Yeah, I was at a loss for words. What John Favreau and Kevin Feige and all of them did with the entire Infinity Saga.
Wait. Are we talking about Mandalorian or Star Wars? Oh, sorry. Are we talking about Star Wars or Marvel?
Marvel.
Marvel.
They were talking
Sorry.
about
I'm talking about Marvel.
Marvel.
What
So
they
Kevin
did.
Feige and the Russo brothers. Those are the guys that did like the End Game and the Infinity
Well,
War.
I'm talking about the entire saga.
Oh, the whole thing.
All 22
Okay, yeah.
movies.
It's mostly
Okay.
Kevin Feige.
22.
Yeah.
Yeah, 22 movies.
Amazing feat. And a
for-
TV show.
Oh, I ain't
Yeah.
never gonna watch that.
So, no,
There's so many.
So, I mean, all the way from the first Iron Man movie all the way to Endgame. All right. All the movies that encompass that entire saga.
Yeah.
I feel so happy with what they did compared to what Fox did with X-Men. And I'm so glad that Disney/Marvel reacquired the rights to
Yes.
X-Men. And I'm so excited for the next phase of Marvel to see what comes out of it.
I'll see. You seen that in the cast for the next Spider-Man movie is gonna have Tobey Maguire in it.
No, that was rumor.
I was about
No,
to say.
they
I don't-
look on the IMDb page. They cast, or they at least they have Dr. Octopus and Electro. They got Jamie Foxx for Electro again, and then they got the guy who played the I forget his name, who played Doc Ock in the
Oh,
Tobey
come on,
Maguire
show him,
movies.
put some respect on his name. It's Alfred fucking Molina. That guy's a
Alfred
legend,
Molina,
man.
good.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
he's a
A
deep
lot
cut
of that
actor.
was industry rumor, though, I think.
I checked the IMDb page. It's like officially on there. Check it out.
Well,
Is it really?
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Like, it's probably going to be like a Spider-Verse situation where they're like jumping from like different iterations of the same character, like they did with Into the Spider-Verse. Now, Chris, did you see that movie, Into the Spider-Verse? Okay.
No.
Here, Chris.
Y'all can spoil away though. 'Cause
No.
I have, like,
This isn't
no
a spoiler.
interest.
I'm going to give you some advice. Get your ass on that
Okay.
movie because it is an
Intro
animated.
to Spider-Verse.
No, it's the Enter the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
Now
Into-
it sounds
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse. I'm so sorry, Chris. It might sound daunting just from the title. Trust me, it ain't. But it is one of
It's
the
really
best animated films you have ever seen.
I'm still here with you guys, but I gotta do something real quick.
Oh, that's no problem.
Gotcha.
But man, that's
Yeah,
one
I'll
you
check
need to
it
see,
out.
man. It's hot. Jared, have you seen that one?
I haven't. I was actually looking for it right now.
It was on Netflix for a long time there. I don't know if they
Yeah,
took
it'll
it
probably
off.
be on Disney. No, it's not on Disney Plus. It's not.
I
It's
don't know where it would
technically
be.
Sony, wasn't it?
It was on. It was on Netflix for years.
Okay, so I'm on the IMDb page,
Talk to us.
and
Talk to us.
Spider-Man: No Way Home full cast and crew. Yes to Jamie Foxx as Max Dillon Electro. Yes to Alfred Molina as Octavius/Doc Octopus. And there is no sign of what's his name,
Toby.
Tobey Maguire. Okay.
Tobey Maguire. Yep. And I'm going down the list, and even in just like art department, visual effects, like there's no.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this: where do you guys stand with the original 3 Spider-Man films? Where are you guys at with them?
I thought they were good. I mean, I grew up with them, so like, that's Spider-Man to me. Like in my
So-
heart, that's Spider-Man.
We're talking about the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire films. Yeah.
So I thought it stayed true to the comic books
Mm-hmm.
for the most part. I mean, there were some things that weren't quite right,
Do we
but
have to bring up Venom?
That was the studio came in and forced him to add
I
him.
know,
Right.
I know.
That
I
is-
know.
that is just
I was just putting a splinter in your
Yeah.
mind. I just had to do it. I'm
no,
sorry.
I mean that's one of the things that I was like, they didn't, not everything,
Yeah.
but for the most part, it stayed true to the comic book. It felt like a true comic book movie.
Yeah.
Whereas like the MCU feels more like
Cinematic
happen in-
experience.
cinematic experience. It's not
Yeah.
a comic book movie.
No.
Now, the first 3 Spider-Man movies, were they blockbusters? Hell yeah. Would I go watch them again if they came out today? Yeah.
Hmm.
Would I enjoy them just as much? Hell yeah. But and I know as a fan, they took some artistic liberties, which weren't quite right. But so has every other movie on the face of this planet.
Well, so has one of the best, arguably one of the best comic book movies in history, The Dark Knight, which we talked
Right.
about in a previous episode. Harvey Two-Face's origin is completely different in the comic. Like he gets acid
Correct.
thrown on his face in the middle of a deposition, and in Dark Knight he gets half of his face just like burned off. But within the plot and within the story, it works, so you don't care because it's that good.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's what I'm saying, like it doesn't matter. So I mean, unless you're one of those dyed in the wool like Batman fans who just like, if they don't do exactly which was on the panel,
Right.
it's bullshit. It's like no, it's like if the plot merits a change, then let it happen. I feel.
Right.
But that's how
I mean,
when I watched that first Captain America movie we were talking about, I had no idea. I never expected it to be anything like a comic book movie. I really expected, like you just said, a cinematic experience.
Yeah.
right.
And so when I was like, what the fuck is this? It wasn't what I wanted at all. So
Well,
never watched it again.
I think it is a kind of a foregone conclusion that the first Captain America film is the weakest of his trilogy.
But I didn't have any.
I only watched it
appreciation
once.
Like I was never really into it like that to begin with, so I didn't come into it with an appreciation for anything that touched on the comic book roots. That's not what I was expecting either.
Well, I was referring to mostly just in terms of quality of a film, because like Winter
Yeah.
Soldier, the sequel, is fucking juicy.
Yeah,
as shit.
that one's
God, it's
so
so good.
good.
And then
Mhm.
Civil War is also, it's fucking filet mignon of storytelling. and
Yeah.
it's so.
I mean, all of
good.
the entire, like I said, the entire saga, the entire Infinity War saga. I mean, Iron Man 2, I get it. I understand.
It's a sidestep for sure. Yeah.
It was a slight sidestep, but it was a story they wanted to tell. And I was hoping we would get what's his name, Mickey Rourke, that played Whiplash.
Oh, Whiplash, dude. Yeah, he's
I was
bad.
hoping we would get more of him later on in the saga.
Yeah, he did though. Spoiler alert, he did. He got exploded by a cosmic high five.
Right. But I was hoping he would come back as, because nobody ever really dies in the
In
Marvel
comic book?
universe.
But hold on, but let's back that up though, Dave. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Now, Jared,
Okay.
you have an input a lot here. So I don't want to cut you. I'm not trying to segregate. We're not trying to segregate you out of this conversation, man. You all right? You doing okay?
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right, just making sure.
I'm chilling.
But
He's realizing now that nobody values his opinion.
Yes.
but
Check.
just a quick check. Just a quick check. Everyone here has seen Endgame, right? Avengers
Yes.
Endgame.
Yeah.
I have. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Chris. Yes.
I don't know, man. But honestly, I don't care enough about it for you
Oh,
to spoil
Jesus
anything.
Christ.
So go
All right.
ahead.
Well, let's just say that Tony Stark bites the dust. Dave, well, this is
Then
what
yeah. I've seen that one. I've seen
Okay. So
Okay.
he doesn't make it, right? But this, David, with what you were saying, like no one ever dies in the Marvel universe. If by some bum fucking miracle they
Mhm.
decide to bring Tony back, I'm gonna be very upset because his death carried so much weight. Also,
Yeah.
now real quick, it's cool how they solved to bring Loki back. I like how they did that. That was clever.
Did
But
they bring him back?
but he didn't have. You didn't know that, Ben?
No.
Dude,
Oh my!
no,
I
don't
thought
remember.
you saw the movie.
Yeah, think back to Endgame. Think back to Endgame. They went back in time to go back to the events of the
Oh,
first
yeah, that's
Avengers
right.
film. He takes the
the.
Tesseract and
That's right.
portals out. So he's back. But that was clever. But his death was so like that's what his death in the end, the start of Infinity War, was so out of left field and so shocking. It was like, wait, they're really killing him off? And like even the Russo brothers, when they were asked, like between the year of the release between Infinity War and Endgame, they said, yeah, he's dead. He is dead. But they didn't say
That
anything about the past version
yeah,
of Loki.
right.
Oh. That's where he's getting his new Disney Plus show.
So
Okay.
there are some theories about how Tony Stark, aka Robert Downey Jr., aka Iron Man, can come back. Not as Iron Man.
But
In the comic books, Tony Stark becomes King the Conqueror.
oh god, really?
What is that?
King the Conqueror is, imagine Thanos on steroids. Bad.
Okay.
Super, super
I
bad.
imagine Thanos is on steroids.
But we're
He's such
running
bad
out
news.
of we're running away from the storyline and spitballing here about what could possibly happen.
Yeah.
But we do know that the Eternals movie is coming, which means Thanos can come back. Even though Thanos is gone, Thanos is dead. Josh Brolin can still come back and play a younger Thanos in a flashback type scenario. But the actual Tony Stark transforms into King the Conqueror in the comic books through it's a long
comic
long
magic.
story.
Yeah, just comic
Magic.
That's just
Comic magic.
So oh please. Finish.
Could we have Robert Downey Jr. back? Yes. Could we have him back as Tony Stark in a flashback? Yes. We also saw him as a hologram at the end of Endgame, if you recall correctly.
Oh yeah. His little death message.
So
last one, yeah.
And here, think about this. Jarvis, the AI program, became Vision.
Awesome.
Vision will be back because obviously we've seen WandaVision.
Right.
Now
Seen
whether
the
he's
newest
actually
episode?
no,
Everyone's seen
I
that?
haven't. Please don't spoil
Okay,
it.
all right,
Please
I'm
don't
not
all
gonna
spoil
caught
say
it.
up,
that.
bro.
All right.
Trust me, it's awesome.
right.
Don't spoil it.
We ain't
Hold
saying
on.
shit.
Oh,
Chris doesn't
I'm
know
glad I
shit.
asked.
Yeah, please don't. But as far as I know, Vision is coming back, can come back, will come back.
Do you guys not have the problem of having the story, and not just with the comic book universe, but with any series, any book you read,
Yeah.
movie you watch? Do y'all not have this problem where, like, once the author breaks the fourth wall, not even breaking the fourth wall, it's more like once something happens in the plot to break your immersion in the story, do y'all not find it hard to get back in? Because I feel like that's with the whole comic book universe. That's the whole, like 90% of the plot is it driving itself forward. Like most of the shit that happens is for the sake of something happening next. Like it's so
Right. It's
self-
convenient.
That's a
yeah,
good
it's
point.
just self-driving and self-fulfilling, and
So I think
it makes it hard for me to get into it.
Well, that's one of the terms actually that's called in the industry and in writing, screenwriting. It's called jumping the shark. Have you ever heard
Okay.
that term before?
No,
I
I've
have
studied
not.
I've studied a pretty good bit of literature, but I hadn't heard that.
Right.
Jumping
so
the shark.
Jumping the shark.
Is
It
that-
is.
Just to
Okay.
have a story about adventure to ride a shark.
No, I'll
kinda thing?
explain it. But
No.
Ben, what was your question? No. What was your question, Ben?
Oh no, you go here. I want to see how you explain it because I
Yeah.
have a different understanding of it.
So Jumping the Shark goes back to the ye old time of television with one of the biggest sitcoms ever called Happy Days.
Happy days.
And what was going on in the end towards the end of that show's like era or run rather. It was on tip top. It was one of the biggest sitcoms ever. There was an episode where they literally have like a water skiing contest or something, where you literally have to jump over like a tank with a shark in it, and
Okay.
that is where for like 90% of the audience, like the diehard audience watching it during that period, that era, checked out. Where it's like, okay, you guys have literally run out of ideas. Like,
Yeah.
like look at what's become of your show. Now, the more
Mhm.
modern, like counterpart to that is a term called nuking the fridge. Nuking the fridge stems from. I'm glad Ben knows what I'm talking about. It stems from
I'm entertained.
the
I'm listening.
seminal classic, directed by Steven Spielberg, written by George Lucas, called Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal fucking Skull, where Indiana literally survives a nuclear blast in close contact by hiding in a lead-lined fridge, and so a nuclear, like they're at a testing facility, it drops. He's like, he doesn't know what to do. He hides in this lead-lined refrigerator. It tosses him literally at least 10 miles. And then he falls out of the refrigerator completely unscathed. Completely
No
unscathed.
bruises, no radiation, nothing.
It's in the first 15 minutes of the movie.
So
like,
we're completely ignoring the fact that said even lead-lined refrigerator would be completely dissolved from the nuclear blast.
So
Yeah.
that's the term. It's like that's why it stems from that. Is that like, okay, so all right. You have these 3 other films that I think are one of the best trilogies ever made, of like the first 3 Andy movies that had set logic. And you could argue, when you look at Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, why they had that logic is because they didn't have the technology to pull off fucking CGI nuclear drop bombs, right? So so they had limitations just due to their technology, and also the choreography in those first 3 movies, the action choreography is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So then you go to this, where it's come out. I think it came out in 2007.
God, I'm old.
Like, he comes out in 2007, and they have all the CGI shit. They do a bunch of CGI shit in the movie. It's so shitty. But then
I never actually watched it, so
you do not
It's
need
not
to.
worth it.
The Last Crusade has the most perfect ending I've ever seen. Like,
right,
bar
and
none.
I've it
Like,
was
when they ride off into
beautiful.
the sunset, all of them,
Mhm.
like literally, that's
Yep.
the ending of the story. It's perfect.
Mhm.
It's absolutely spectacular. There's so much more wrong, but that's what, to Chris, that's the long-winded explanation of what you were saying. This jumping of the shark, this all of a sudden this nuking of the fridge, where you're like, wait, what? Like, the character who died 6 issues ago is just back because you had some sort of fucking majestic potion. I mean, the equivalent. I mean, Davo knows this for sure. As the Lazarus Pit in Batman, like that. That's definitely something that Ra's al Ghul uses to bring himself back and others back.
Right.
But they use that. There's a story called The Red Hood, where Jason Todd, the second Robin dies,
that movie.
and as the second Robin dies, Ra's al Ghul unearths his corpse to like have his own apprentice that's trained by his arch nemesis, that is Batman. He puts him in a Lazarus Pit, which is meant for resurrection. Every time like Ra's al Ghul has died, he gets put in that pit.
Or whenever he gets too old, he goes in the
exactly. So, but he keeps losing more and more of himself as he does it.
Yeah.
But when he puts Jason Todd in there, he goes fucking berserk. Like he can't control him berserk. He like just bursts out and runs out like a wild animal, and he becomes a essentially like a psychopathic criminal. The Red Hood does. That's who Jason Todd is. Anyways, so I see your point. I mean, because you want your stories to matter. You want them to have weight. So do I. And that's why with things like Game of Thrones, like most of us here have seen, when characters go, they go. So when there's weight to their departure, there's weight to their departure every time that happens. There isn't.
We're going full circle.
Yep.
We're going full circle because
We're
that's
trying
what
to
I
bring it
said
all
earlier about when you in the pre-show when you were asking me about favorite characters, and I said I hate that they brought Jon Snow back. It almost kind of diminishes his death.
Well, I mean, if we went, I mean, because Davo here, he's. This isn't too much of a spoiler, Chris. I promise you, for Game of Thrones, I promise you. I will just say that they don't do. I think Jared, back me up here if you want, if you can. I don't think they do enough with the Lord of Light that they introduced in early.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who the Lord of Light is, but
well, he's not really introduced until like season 2. The idea of him, anyways, or the idea of
Melisandre. Not Melisandre.
Well, no, but it's not him. It's where like it's where like Arya's with that like group of assassins with the mountain or the hound. Yeah. And that one dude gets like cut in half by him, and then that dude goes on top of him and starts praying on top of him. and he's like fucking filleted, and then he just walks right back up, and you're like,
Yeah.
wait, hold on a second. There's like legitimate gods and like legitimate
Yeah.
Well,
in
I
Skyrim
remember
terms, Daedra.
when me and Jared, I first started watching Game of Thrones. Me and Jared were together, and at first I was kind of like, okay, like I thought it was a little, what's the word? I thought it was all stories, and then the more you watch, the more you have to accept as reality that there are magical, mythical things that happen in the world of Game
Right.
of Thrones. It's
I
not
agree
just
with you.
stories.
That's that's one of the main things, main reasons why I liked it, is that it kept playing with this idea that like, ooh, dragons existed,
Yeah.
sorcery,
Yeah.
maybe, who knows? And then it like
Right.
slowly trickles in, and you're like, oh
And
shit.
then you see the fucking dragon, the shadow dragon come out of her coochie.
Oh man, when fucking Stan the face, he was murdered by a shadow with the face of Stannis Baratheon, and it's like,
That's it.
So, he was murdered by a shadow. A shadow with the face of Stannis Baratheon.
Stannis. Yeah, man, for sure.
Ah.
So, anyways, yeah, that I mean,
Oh
Stannis
yeah,
King
speaking
2021.
of
oh please.
speaking of fucking characters, man, fuck Stannis, dude. I was rooting for him, and then he burned his daughter a lot. Fuck
I
him.
know.
Fuck him. Fuck that motherfucker, dude.
Listen, man.
I hope
Listen.
him and the red bitch get what they deserve.
Listen. God damn it, man. I agree. Like he was bewitched essentially, like, you know, like
Yeah.
twisted
Hey, dude,
by
I've been bewitched by some good pussy. I know what it's like, dude. I could relate. But then, oh man, what he did, oh, dude, when he said "forgive me," I was like, no, fuck this motherfucker, dude. I don't care what happens to him
Now,
anymore.
I think one of the most compelling shots in that entire show was when, after the fact, the next day, when Davos, the Onion Knight, is standing by her ashes.
He's like,
and
"Where's the princess?"
He's like, yeah, and he's looking at the stake, and it's all ashes, and it has that wonderful wide shot in slow motion as the sun is rising on the next day after the snow and the storm is cleared. So, and that's what I also liked about that moment too, is that, and I like this. There's another movie called Book of Eli that does this very well too. Is that like,
oh yeah, that was amazing.
Where it teases the idea of the existence or truth of prophecies, but it's never said that that's why it came true. Because he burns his daughter, and then all that frost and snow and all that shit clears up. Because Melisandre said if you do that, if you sacrifice her, it'll clear up. But it could also just be a coincidence that the fact that the storm just ended.
Well, kind of like with the fucking leeches that she threw in the gauntlet or the brazier or whatever it was. And
after she, with the fucking, the bastard son of
because if all that other shit had happened without me seeing that scene with her throwing the blood leeches in there, I'd have been like, yeah, that's still totally fucking plausible.
Exactly. Damn, this is fun. It's a fucking show. Yeah, but anyway, how are you, Davo, though? I haven't seen you in a minute.
Doing pretty good. Been
How's the
working
bass
a
guitar?
lot. I haven't picked it up in about 2 weeks. I've been pretty busy. Yeah, it's been killing me. So I need to get on that. I'm probably about to order some different drum machines, so to speak.
Nice.
Probably about to spend some money on some software to start making some beats. And
Now, let me ask you this though, real talk.
Uh-huh.
Are you thinking about producing music or just making beats to go along with you, like playing or like just here and there? Like, hello,
no,
Moto.
actually, producing. Yeah, I know. Let me turn
That
this
just
down.
gave me like work flashbacks. Like, what's going on? Like, got PTSD right from hearing that sound.
Moto.
So, no, I've been talking to some people, and there's a plan that I've had in the works for about 2 years, and me and a friend of mine that have been working on it about starting a recording studio.
Oh, yes, you mentioned this. Yeah.
And
I'm really
with
excited for you.
recent events, without going into too much detail, at our last recording session, it's pretty much, the amount of money we have to spend to get songs recorded. We could be investing in our own recording studio and have unlimited access. And a supplemental type of income would be producing beats for rappers.
So
it's a lot out there.
But he's right. I mean, but I would recommend. I don't know if you've ever tried it or used it. Ableton Live is an absolutely fantastic
So
music making
that
software.
software is more Mac focused.
So I
Um,
use
Even though you can use it on PC, it's more
I have
Mac
it on
focused.
PC. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you
I
saying?
use
Um,
Fruit Loops, FL Studio.
Oh yeah, Fruity
yes.
Loops. Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
use for my music stuff. I know it's like
It gets the job done though. It's
But
really
yeah.
rudimentary. It's really base level, but you can do it. You can still do a lot with it. It's quite versatile.
Well,
Mhm.
I've been looking at a
Yeah, do you want
and
hardware or software with it? Like, what are you thinking? Doing the hard?
I'm going to be doing both. I'm
Okay,
going to
cool.
have the actual beat pad or a drum machine or a sample pad
Yeah.
and both of them are made by Akai.
Oh yes.
But there's like a mini keyboard that you can work with, and you can, if you get the
Check it out.
not quite that big.
Well, this is just a
um,
launch pad for you to use with Ableton mainly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, there's some smaller ones that I was looking at that
Yeah.
are pretty I say inexpensive. I'm not calling them cheap, but like $100 can get you a lot of machine.
Bro,
Um,
it's really wild how like people think
um,
like that going into that kind of industry is a big investment for like one person. For just one person, as long as you spend your money right and you know how to handle it.
yeah, yeah, and
Not so bad.
you can get. I was actually looking at the FL Studio, and you can get the full fat everything that FL Studio offers. Not like second party stuff, but
Mhm.
or third party stuff, but the actual FL Studio with all the plugins, everything for $500.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got,
Everything.
Dude, I had
And
somebody load Fruit Loop Studio on
and
my
I got it for
laptop
free.
one time for
Mhm.
free, just to show me what it was, and I had I deleted it like next day because I didn't know what it was.
Oh man, no, it is a,
Wow.
it is a real program. I've been using Ableton for most of my life or most of my just music making, just fucking
Yeah.
around. But speaking of like weird days, I mean, David, is that the end of your story? I'm sorry.
Oh no, well, I mean, matter of fact, that's who I was just messaging when my phone was going off. But no, with about a $250 investment in hard equipment,
Yeah.
and then the $500 investment in the software.
Mhm.
I mean, I literally have everything at my fingertips to produce beats.
Your own shit, yeah, your own shit.
Yeah, my own
Easy.
shit. And, I mean, we obviously know my PC is more than capable of handling the software.
Absolutely.
But it would be, an additional way to earn money for said studio that we're in the process. We're looking at property right now. Most of it they want to sell said property, but we might be able to convince them to lease it or what have you. And if I can get in on producing beats, really fast, that would be a source of income to help pay the rent at whatever property we choose.
Perfect.
And also have bands come in and record, and or a place for bands to practice, have a place for us to store equipment, because as Jared knows, I've got a lot of sound equipment, like just for my DJing stuff.
Oh
And
yeah.
it would be nice to be able to hop in my truck and actually lay my seat back a little bit, because my truck is literally loaded down with professional sound equipment.
Is that right? Damn, son.
Yeah.
Speaking of making music, man, did anyone else shed a tear for Daft Punk?
Oh,
Yeah,
They
man.
broke
You
up,
have to
man.
bring
When they
that
told me
up,
that up,
dude.
man.
I was like, I mean, it was like almost 30 years, and I'm like,
Yeah.
like I'm glad it just like ended, and it sounded like they just kind of like were just like it didn't like they like broke up, but it was like just kind of like a throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm glad it ended this way, but I also didn't want it to.
Well, I mean,
Speaking of,
yeah, go ahead.
Jared, I was listening to Daft Punk with Jared in the truck like a week and a half ago, and this motherfucker was like, "How many more times is he gonna say one more time?"
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't know. I mean, because you brought it up, but did anyone see the video that they released announcing them breaking
No,
up?
I didn't.
No, I have
God,
not.
This is such. Damn it! They didn't publicize this enough, but I think they did that on purpose. It's a video called Epilogue. It's 7 minutes long. It's a short film. It's essentially a silent film, and it's them. I'll have to put it in the chat. We won't watch it.
Yeah,
obviously,
I'd love
but
to see
but
that.
no, but you need to see it. It's like actually pretty cool. But I've talked about this with a couple of other people, And they were like, fuck it. They didn't release anything for the past like 10 years. And I'm like, okay, granted. But, okay. They were such an influential group overall in EDM. Like, that's just a fact. But the fact that they created, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Random Access Memories, that album, with Get Lucky on it, with Pharrell. I wasn't a big fan of. I wasn't a big fan of that one. It wasn't hard enough for me. I like something a little more meaty. I can talk about that later. But anyways, Tron Legacy. Fucking hey, dude. Check this out. Hold on. All right. Watch this. Okay. This is a release. I have this soundtrack on 2 different record pressings. But this is a Mando release. But check this out. So like it starts with like Flynn's Arcade, like the Tron like cabinet. But watch this.
Oh, dude, that's lit.
Okay. And then, because it's the fuckers who made the music, watch this. Okay.
Beautiful. I just love how well they fit in with that movie. Like when they showed them like in the movie as
the records
DJ.
are colored too, but I don't want to take everything out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But that's arguably one of the best scores I've heard in a very, very long time. Probably.
Oh hell yeah!
I mean, since it came out, like it still rings in my ears. I listen to it. I hear the whole. I can visualize the whole movie behind it, or like when I'm listening to it.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate because they released a complete soundtrack for Tron Legacy, I think 2 or 3 months ago, for streaming services, and then just a couple months later they decided to break up.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Jared, you said, how many times are you gonna say one more time? Were you not a fan, really, or like?
I don't think he got into it like that.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, I'm not mad at you. I mean, it's not like you hate like Mozart or some bullshit or whatever. But
Mozart's overrated, though.
Kiss my ass, dude. Mozart. Listen, man.
His Requiem is like his best piece. The Requiem is like good.
And the Amadeus soundtrack on LP. That soundtrack
I don't know, man.
is so lit. Like, sorry. Go
well,
ahead.
because like you have like the movie, and like when it was put in with the movie, and it had like those like bits with it, it was pretty good. But like,
all right, I'm Rachmaninoff. That's my favorite guy. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
So
I'm a little more partial to Beethoven than most.
So the breakup that hurt my heart more than Daft Punk though.
Talk to me.
And even though they never like officially broke up, was Outkast.
Oh no, you're right. That is a tragic.
I mean, that right there, that broke my heart. Even though they've never officially announced that they've broken up.
Yeah.
Bro, say Andre 3000 and what's his name? They could release an album tomorrow.
They could. Are they?
They should.
They should.
The world needs it.
The world needs
and the whole
Outkast.
World needs it.
Love it when you know.
Well,
yeah.
For me, I don't know about a breakup. I don't know, man. I haven't been around long enough. I mean, Daft Punk for sure, but I was definitely more of like I brought up like how Random Access Memories didn't do it for me. There's an album. Oh, I mean, of course, Dave knows Justice, dude. You know the band Justice? Dave, no, really?
Yeah.
So Justice are essentially the cousins to Daft Punk. They're a French EDM duo under the same record label.
Okay.
As Daft Punk was. But a couple years later, they released an album called Woman, which was also like an EDM kind of like funk record. Right. That shit, bro, it just spoke to me because the music in that was the same genre, but it hit harder. The beats was there, the bass was there.
Hitting different.
No, I'm telling you, dude.
I'll get out of here with that shit.
I will link that shit. I'll Spotify link that in the chat as well because y'all got to listen to that. Like if when you got a chance, of course, not right now. But it's just a hard sound.
Do it be hitting different?
Shut up, man. Shut up. Oh.
And all no sarcasm included. Yes, it does hit different.
Chester Bennington was the first celebrity death I've ever given a fuck about.
Oh no, we have to bring that one up. Oh, that's so depressing.
I mean, we don't have
bring
to.
Up celebrity deaths.
No.
That Linkin Park got me through some fucking dark times.
Oh, if we're talking about musicians, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Chester Bennington was he was the guy from Linkin Park when he decided to off himself.
Right.
That one hit home.
The one that hit me more was Notorious B.I.G. because I was a
Oh,
huge
see-
fan of his back in the day.
Shit. Sorry. Yeah, you were. That was before my time, unfortunately. Before I was like
Yeah.
more aware of hip hop, and like his influence. That Notorious movie that they did on his life wasn't too bad, but it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. No, it wasn't as good as like the Compton movie.
Straight Outta
like the
Compton
NWA
is a
yeah.
fucking tour de force. That movie is amazing.
Yeah.
But it was this guy for me. It was Mr. Bowie.
Is that David Bowie?
When he died, I was a little girl. I broke down in tears. What was great, I found out that he passed. Here's Black Star. This was his album right before he died.
Mm-hmm.
And he released, like, I think 3 days before he actually died. What happened was I found out he died off of Facebook. And I called my best friend, and I was in tears. And then I called my girlfriend at the time, and I was also in tears. But then I was telling her, I was like, man, I got to get that Black Star album off Amazon, like, right now, because it's going to disappear. And she's like, I already got it for you. I was like, oh, shit, oh, my God. I was like, I was so gone, dude. I couldn't handle it. So this is hers. This is the one that she got me. And there's a song on here actually called well, you know the song Space Oddity, Ground Control to Major.
Yeah.
So in the title song Black Star, it's the first song. You see what happened to Major Tom.
Oh, that's
In the music video of that song, you see what happened to Major Tom.
I've never watched it. I'll
Bro,
check that out.
it is so, man, I gotta link all this shit. It's so hot though. But there's that, and then there's a song which, to round us all back again, song on the album called Lazarus. And it's about preparing to die.
Somebody coming back to life.
Well, yeah, someone coming back to life, but preparing to die in order to get to that point. That's what the song is about, and that's what the music video is about.
Man.
It's
You know, every time I've ever heard anything reference Lazarus as part of literature and like what it's for, you obviously, if you know the story of Lazarus,
Oh,
you
yeah, in
know
the Bible.
what the fuck. Yeah, and Matthew McConaughey's character in that movie, what's that movie where he goes to outer space?
Interstellar or The Martian?
Interstellar. Yeah. There's a part where Matthew McConaughey's character says to the old man, he came back to life, but that means he had to die in the first place.
Yes.
And that was the first time I'd ever really thought about it like that. It was pretty cool.
That's what I'm saying. That movie was cool. And you know what? Just one of my favorite moments in a Nolan film. That's not my favorite Nolan film, but
It'd be hard to pick a favorite. He's pretty good.
man, The Prestige does it all the way for me, man. That movie's fucking... That's
I can see that.
the Hugh Jackman.
Can we talk
Kirsten
about
Dunst.
one thing, the elephant in the room that's like piquing my OCD?
Talk to me.
What?
Brawlins, do you not have a webcam?
I do not.
I'll
do not.
I'll put a little picture.
It was the first thing that like came to my. Yeah, I'm gonna put I'll change my little profile picture.
So
My face, just
what
have a
I'm
big
going to
slap.
need you to do for me, I swear to God, please, once this is over, send me your address and I will send you a webcam.
Bro,
Hey, dude, I don't have one either. I'm on my phone.
I'll literally order one right now.
Right?
No, I will literally buy you one right now if you send
I'm
me your
literally
address.
buying one right
You know,
Like
you
a-
know.
Look at these two assholes.
Yeah.
Look at these two
no.
assholes.
See, Davo, I'm aligned to you, man. I'm loyal to your cause, brother. I fly your flag.
Bro, I'm on my phone. I have a webcam.
Yeah. So I mean, well, I was just gonna bring up real quick. In the Nolan film Interstellar, they find Matt Damon, and he hijacks the ship, and he goes up to the space station, right? And like he's trying to lock the ship in, but the ship's like, "Don't do that. It's not working." And then Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway are like, "Bro, stop what you're doing. It's gonna be catastrophic." And then he's pressing the buttons, trying to override everything. And he's just like, what does he say? He goes, I'm sitting in the theater and I'm like, fucking A, we're gonna get another Matt Damon monologue about humanity and where we're going and whatever. And he's pressing the buttons and he's like, this is about just me. It's about all mankind. There was a moment. And the whole shit just blows up in silence, and I was like, he gets sucked out in the back. I was like, oh,
Fuck that motherfucker.
shit. Yeah, I was like, damn. And then like you see Anne Hathaway and Matthew McConaughey, then they're like, we got to spin, like match the station's rotation, and I'm like, oh.
Yo, he was such a fucking G. He was like, Tars, if I pass out, take the stick.
Yes, dude, yes. He's like,
Hell yeah, that dude's a fucking G, man.
dude, that movie's straight fire. I don't disagree with you, no, but The Prestige just, on a narrative level, acting level, the simplicity of the story. Like there's not much to decipher in terms of like, okay, how does time work? How are we getting into wormholes, deep space? I mean, Interstellar was great. I saw it on the IMAX screen in my neighborhood, and oh man, that movie is juicy. Yeah.
The IMAX screen in your neighborhood,
Bro, it's right. It's really close to where I live. It is a shopping
the
center.
whitest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, well, you got to see those things at 70mm projection. Dude, IMAX is fucking tight. What was the last thing I saw there? Oh, I saw Tenet, the latest Christopher Nolan film.
Yeah,
And boom, shipped.
And what?
Webcams come in the mail.
Oh, okay.
Is it really?
Friday.
Dude, I swear to
You
God,
happy?
you know what I was really gonna do? Like I literally have Amazon pulled up right now with webcams, and I was gonna get your address and gift it to you and have it sent to your house.
I was literally you said webcam, and it was already in my mind. The second I joined, I was like, oh damn, everyone's face revealing. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to face reveal yet.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, what was the last Nolan film before? Oh, it was Dunkirk. Did you guys see that one?
I saw it. It
No,
was
it's
very,
That was
very
It's on my
cinematic.
list. I hadn't seen it yet.
I thought it was pretty, but it was hard to follow. I
It
felt
was very
but I also,
long. It was
Yeah.
very it was very long.
Mm-hmm.
It was very monotone.
Yeah, I agree to
First
that.
half.
Yeah, I agree to that.
yeah.
But the production value, the eye candy,
Oh my god,
was second to none.
bro. Like,
Yeah.
and here's the thing. There aren't many like aerial dogfighting movies out
Mhm.
there. I think they might have a sequence or two, but like, obviously the most famous one is Top Gun. But
Right.
like, dude, in Dunkirk, and this isn't a spoiler,
Seen that.
Chris, for you, Chris. But like, dude.
I mean,
The
we all know
dog-
what happened.
Oh no. Well, yeah, no. But I'm saying that the actual way they film and pace out the dogfighting in that movie, dude. Because they don't have missiles. It's all fucking machine guns. So when they're just trying to align a shot, bro, your heart is going. You're just like,
Oh, yeah.
You're like real. Dude, I shit. I was white knuckled throughout most of that movie,
Hell
sitting in
yeah.
the theater. I was like this. But same
Dude,
with
I wanna
Inception.
know-
Same with Inception.
All this stuff we're talking about movies, man. I want to know what Jared's been watching on this damn 75-inch TV he bought.
Oh,
the
that you
other day.
mounted too high.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Your mic's off there.
Wait,
dumbass.
Jared. Tune back in. Your mic is a little off or something like that. Jared.
Hello.
Oh, there he is.
There we go.
So
Okay.
what were we saying?
We're learning how to internet.
I hadn't even really been able to watch anything cool on it yet.
Oh man.
As soon as I got it, I left to go out of town with you. And then as soon as I got back, I started building that privacy fence.
It's too bad.
My wife
Oh.
loves it.
Speaking of which, speaking of movies and shit, fucking Best Buy is closing a shit ton of fucking locations, including
Really?
firing 5,000 employees.
Oh, really?
Oh, yay.
Yeah, bro. Like, I mean,
It's
I
always-
was just there. Goddamn. Sunday, I picked up a surge protector with a USB like like built-in ports.
Mhm. Yeah.
I had one before, man, that like whistled and shit. Oh man, it like so I bought this thing
Oh,
for $30. Yeah, I bought this thing. It was fine. It worked fine, but it whistled. This thing for $30. This thing doesn't make a fucking sound. I love it. One of the best investments I've ever made. Goddamn.
Dude,
Yeah,
when I
typically
first
you don't
set up-
want your electronics to hum.
Do
Bro,
they have a
I've
list
had that.
of,
I've had that before.
When I first set up my office, I had all of my surrounds, everything, all the audio in my office was set up through. It was all car audio speakers and shit that I put in boxes.
Oh no
And then
shit.
I had some software to control it. Anyways, it was all set up, but it was all 12-volt power. So I went on Amazon and ordered like it was like a 250 amp it was some crazy shit. But it was this big ass like basically AC to DC converter, and you had to cut the male end of your power cords off and like put it on the little pieces. I was fine with all that. It worked. Like I'm not scared of electricity. I understand how it works and how to wire it up. Everything was good. But then every time I turn it on, it had like a capacitor or something that high frequency squeal.
Yes,
constantly.
that's exactly what happened to me with my old
I
one.
hate
Oh, it was a pain in the ass. So real quick, check this out, y'all. Quick change in topic. But I went to this place called, I think it's called Aesop. That's how you say it. Aesop, yeah.
Aesop.
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 No, it's
Aesop.
Aesop. Yeah.
ESA?
Have you ever heard of
It's
this?
kind of like Tool Enema.
Dude, everybody listening right now is like, "What the? Why is my shit skipping?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
bugger. Yeah, this bro. All right. Watching it, no, this is so weird. Watching an Australian streamer the night before, she was playing Hunt Showdown, that BR. I gifted her $5 because she was in Celine, like Kate Beckinsale from Underworld cosplay, by the way.
Nice.
Oh.
So I gave her
Nice.
$5,
Yeah.
and I was telling my girlfriend about how cool she looked and how cool it went, and like she was really receptive to the donation. It was nice. We walk into this place. We go into a Blue Bottle Cafe, which is a kind of a chain of bougie cafes here in California. There's this store. I see this name on a door neighboring to the place, and I go, "What's this place?" We walk in. This woman walks up to me, and with the mask, regardless, beautiful woman. Like, I'm just like, okay, she's very pretty. Me and my girlfriend were there, and like we were just like, oh, she's very pretty. But then she started talking, and I was like, "Where's your accent from?" Australian. I went, "What the fuck is this shit?" Turns out this is also an Australian company. And I'm like,
Oh.
damn, like, and then my girlfriend was just talking to her friend who's in Australia, and I was like, well, this is some weird shit. It's just kind of one of those like, happenstance things. And it was really good product though, really good because dude,
What is it?
it's this is a hand lotion because dude,
We know.
fucking
Yeah.
yep, you know it, and it's well scented too. It's fucking delicious. No,
Hey,
but
bro. Hey, I keep my lotion close by too.
he's got the
No
fucking Johnson and Johnson recently approved for the vaccine. You got dude, because I work with kids, so I'm washing, hand sanitizing all the fucking time. I looked like goddamn fucking Kilimanjaro with like fuck how much snow and ash I had on my goddamn hands. So I got this shit, bro. You know what's so good about it? You know how sometimes when you put on lotion and it feels like your skin isn't even absorbing it. Like, it just feels like it's tacked on. Like, it's just like a layer, a new layer of, like, false skin. Not with this shit, and it smells delicious. Sponsored by
Man's
Eiffel.
serious about his lotion.
That was just a fun, like, thing. With, like, and we were in LA and, like, did all that. Man, LA's going to the fucking, the dogs, man. It's in bad shape.
We've been saying that for
going?
years here in the South.
What you mean it's going? It's there.
Yeah, I
Man,
thought
no,
that, yeah.
I mean, y'all all think that because you're like, oh, yeah, fuck California. But it's like, no, dude.
I mean, well, yeah, but like,
no,
Bro,
but
I'm in the Central Valley. I was in Oakland 2 days ago.
it's, dude, listen, man. If you come to my town, if you come to my area, you would think that this place is a haven compared to Oakland and Los Angeles in terms of cleanliness. Not as many homeless, and just in terms of the overall mood, it's not as oppressive. Like, I mean, a lot of metropolitans can be that. Metropolitan areas can be that, where it's just like, it's concrete, it's squares, it's fucking just big skyscrapers that you'll never have access to or a job to. It's all that kind of bullshit. At least where I live, it's a suburb for sure, but it doesn't have that aura. So whenever I go up to LA in the past 3 years, like in the past 3 years to now, bro, it's a whole different ballgame. I'm telling you. If you went there before then, you wouldn't have the same kind of connotation. It would look raggedy in some parts, like especially like Skid Row. But bro, like Venice Beach, the most famous boardwalk in all of the Western like United States, Skid Row Part 2. Like to the nth
Yeah, I
degree.
believe it.
Yeah, it's wild. But anyways, let's not get negative here. It's good vibes today.
it's good vibes.
Yeah, but Jared, you were asking me. I'm not going to monologue for too long here, but Jared, you were asking me, and Chris, I had a hell of a day. It was true. If you guys would like to hear the tale, pull yourself a cup of your world's best boss coffee.
Do you need mood music?
Be sure to carpe diem and seize.
Oh, I need to refill my coffee cup.
Let's take a hydration
I
break.
can set the mood- I can set some mood music. I can just riff some shit if you want.
No, I've got a
Everyone
bottle of
else
water
has
here.
a cup.
Yes,
I've got a bottle of water here.
All right, let's do it.
But I
Let's
was
do it.
just showing off my coffee cup because
No,
of
I
our
like it.
conversation
Shout out,
earlier.
shout out! By the way,
That's
one
nice,
of our
Jared.
hosts this
That's
evening.
nice,
One
David.
of our hosts this evening got this for me for Christmas or something.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Jared's so nice.
It matches
He's
your
such a
your
nice
room
guy.
aesthetic too, or your cab aesthetic too, with that American flag, dude. Let's go.
Dude, I've got
America.
American flags on so much shit. I don't even realize it, and yeah, it's everywhere.
You know, it's funny. I used to fly the "Don't Tread on Me" flag before it got co-opted, and I was like,
I was gonna say,
motherfucker. Like,
I used to have several. I had like stickers on a truck I used to have. And then when it basically got adopted as a symbol of I'm a conservative,
Yes, the
I let it go.
same here, bro.
And not to
I
say
mean,
I'm a liberal, but I don't. It just once they adopted
It's
it
not
for
what you
what it
stand
is,
for. It's not what you stand
no,
for.
I
not
literally
entirely.
just bought a "Don't Tread on Me" tumbler, so
Oh, you bastard. So, all right. Let's this is the quick part. Go to work, I give my kid his birthday present. He really likes it. It's a Minecraft t-shirt. And
oh yeah,
that was cool.
who wouldn't? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I texted a friend who I hadn't spoken to in a while. Unfortunately, we had a family thing here, and one of our family members went to the hospital. They're okay. But in that interim, I was like, holy shit, I haven't spoken to this person in a while. So I call them, right? When I call them, this is a female. A guy picks up. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. That usually doesn't happen. Then I'm like, okay, hi, I'm looking for my friend. I can't tell you where she is. I'm like, what?
A little weird.
Yeah, and then
That's awkward.
I keep probing, and I'm like, what? Okay, what is like? Is she like? I'm like, where is she? Like, I'm like, whatever. Like, am I speaking to a coworker? Am I speaking to who? Like, who are you doing? And then it came to the point where he was just being so like dodgy of like the a proper answer. I just blatantly asked, okay, is she alive? And he went, if, and this is what his response. He said, if she's here, then yes, she's alive. And I went, okay, weird, but at least she's alive. So I'm like, okay.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So a week goes by, and I'm like sitting with my kid, and it just dawned on me again. I was like, oh my gosh. So I've been sending her Snapchats, over the like time we haven't spoken, and I look in the chat log, they've never been opened. So I'm still just like, and that again, she doesn't usually do that. So I texted her today. Let me see. I won't tell her name, but I said, "Hey, you all right?" Simple reply. 4 minutes later, I had a seizure. And then it turns out that this girl who's had a problem with alcohol relapsed, and it was in detox, and then seized from being in detox. So I'm like, which
like
hospital?
the person who answered the phone couldn't just tell you like I'm a counselor or I'm a healthcare provider.
So he said that
Well,
you have to
that's-
be on a call list in order to be told information or to be given or to be able to speak to the person directly.
Well, then they shouldn't have been answering her fucking phone at
So
all.
he said that, I don't know if this is true, I don't care, but he said that like his phone is the same model and look as hers. So when he saw it ring, he just kind of picked it up and answered. I don't know. I don't care. But that happened. And then I
Still
go,
not cool.
I'm like, exactly. So then I go, which hospital? She tells me, and I'm like, okay. But she just got, I asked her, are you home now? And I was like, just like, what's your address? After work, I zoomed right over there. And before I came, I picked up a large fry and an extra Oreo McFlurry just as a treat because everyone needs that in their life. I mean, come on.
Right.
Who doesn't turn
McDonald's
down free?
ice cream machine
Yeah, exactly.
was actually working.
Who does not turn down free McDonald's fries? You have to be a heathen or like some sort of fucking like.
I'm just
ISIS,
amazed
like-
that the ice cream machine was up.
Dude, this was the bougiest McDonald's I have been to yet. 5 different self-service booths and LED TV screens and rotation of menu. And I was impressed. And it was empty too, so it was nice. I get the stuff, I go over to her place. Right as I get the stuff, I see a text, hey, my mom's coming, like as well, like in the same like time frame. And she's like, then she texts me right as I'm parking, so maybe we should postpone this. And I call her, I'm like, I'm already here, bitch. So she picks up the phone. She's like, oh. She walks out. Man, here's the thing. So she looked. It hurt. She was walking like she had just been drinking for the past 18 hours. Like she could barely keep herself floating, you know? To the point where I was like cradling her back because like I felt like she could just with a soft breeze. She looked okay. She was skinny, but she looked okay. But like her speech was semi-slurred, and it was kind of slowed down like this anytime she responded to you. And I'd never been to her place, and like where she was living yet, and like it was fine. It didn't look like it was too disheveled or like she was hoarding anything. But I dated this girl probably about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and it was pretty good. But then it just ended because it ended. No big deal. But then she tells me that she was, to the best of her ability at this point, she was elated to get McDonald's. And she also told me that I was the only person who would come to visit and check on her. And that shit, like, just kind of like, I mean, she's not a bad person. She's not like some sort of like shrew or like just a dick. But like, I was like, damn, this kind of struck me. And so we sat there for about 30 minutes, just kind of like, I was kind of catching up with everything that happened. And then I left. But it's still hanging with me that when she hugged me as hard as she possibly physically could. And I was like,
Yeah, it sucks to see somebody that you know doesn't deserve to be treated and feel like that going through some shit like that.
well, that's exactly what happened. And that was my first like kind of click with this. Like, I mean, throughout the United States, it's always been said that there's this, I'm not saying it's false. I'm just saying there is like a drug problem. There's ODing on shit. And like both people are like overdosing and dying, whatever. Prescription drugs, illegal drugs, whatever. And this is alcohol we're talking about. This was her problem. This was her vice. But it's never come to roost to me like that before. And I'm not saying I'm like traumatized. I'm not shaking from it. But it did kind of be like, whoa, this is kind of sad. And I cared about her a lot. I care about her a lot. The last time we spoke on the phone before all this went down, it was probably about 2 weeks between us talking. We spoke on the phone for an hour and a half.
Wow.
And it's like, she's like a quality friend. She's a quality person that I truly do value. And to see them in this like fragile state was just, yeah. But that's what happened today. It was just kind of, woof. I don't know if y'all have dealt with anything like this, and I'm sorry to take it in a sour direction, but it's just something that I thought, and y'all asked about my day, so I thought I wanted to tell you.
Yeah, that's one of those things that'll stick with your thoughts until the next day, at least, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, my uncle
Yeah,
struggled with
anytime-
alcohol. Oh, sorry, please, Jared. I'm done talking.
No, I was just gonna say, anytime you're dealing with something like that with somebody who's close to you, it's a difficult situation, especially if you had never really dealt with it before. I grew up with it in my family, like my uncle, alcoholic for as long as I can remember, making a fool out of himself all the time, and it got to the point to where most everybody in our family couldn't deal with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he
Black
just
sheep.
went and put himself in rehab 21 months ago, I think, and he's been sober for going on his second year.
Good for him.
But yeah, it was a breath of fresh air. But I mean, dude, it was even growing up with that and watching him and seeing him, my mom, and all that stuff, like that was a hurtful situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think most of the folks in this chat know how far me and you go back, man. But I remember, I was there for some of those exact same stories what you're talking about, and it's
Yeah.
it is more than just a breath of fresh air, man. It is defiance of all the fucking odds that this man is doing well for himself now.
Yeah. So yeah, I know where
Good
you're
for
at.
him.
Oh yeah,
Good for him.
so I know where you're at. I know. I kind of know what you're feeling. You know what I mean?
I mean, I will preface this. I mean, my uncle was a alcoholic, recovering alcoholic, and he was around for a good parts of my life and good periods of my life. And so I saw the toll it took on him, especially physically. Like his whole body changed, his whole look changed. He was a very handsome guy, and then it just totally deteriorated him. But then he left to he was living here and he was living at my house, and then he left back to Hawaii, which is like where he was at he lived there for like over 20 years. But then that's where he shuffled off the motor coil. He went there to end it, essentially. He didn't. So
Right.
it's like, but I remember my ma, she asked, because my uncle, she's like, well, how did you feel about all of that? And to this day, and I feel the same way, this might sound cold, but it's like, well, it sucks what happened, and he shouldn't have to die, especially over something like a fucking optional substance like alcohol. But he did make his choices, and that's the saddest part. You just have to kind of really realize it's like it comes up to the onus of the individual, even though it is an addiction. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to minimalize that. But since he left, and we did have a funeral for him and a service for him and everything, it just didn't really hit as hard as like if he was actually here and we were like supporting him and like, you know, that kind of stuff. But like today,
So,
sorry, please, David,
yeah.
please.
Yeah. No, so you basically hit on what I was gonna say, or that I wanted to say, but I wasn't gonna say, in order to be not be insensitive. But yeah, it's decisions that they make. I mean, no one makes those decisions for them. No one held a gun to their head and made them drink. You know, and every decision that you've made in your life has led to this very point.
Right. And
I mean, and that's
please.
that's, I'm not trying to be insensitive about it, but they made those choices. You can make choices for greatness, or you can make choices to bury yourself.
And that's a sad truth. That's a sad truth. But it's also a reflection on what addiction does do to a person, and how that just mentally twists your decision making. Plain and simple. Like how that makes it. Go ahead, please, Jared.
Think about this. There are some people who have, and probably don't even know it when it happens, but such addictive personalities
and tendencies.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And it's like you make them one mistake, and then that turns into again and again and again and again, and because of that personality trait, they're further than 65% of the people who try something one time, because they don't really have anybody there to pull them back neither.
Right. Yeah.
Because I tell my son all the time, you're 100% of the company you keep. If your friends are doing this or doing that or doing this, like you're going to be doing this, doing that. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, he's 5 years old, and I'm teaching him that now. That way, when if he's ever put in a situation where friends sitting there snorting cocaine on the table, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're the company you keep. I probably don't need to be friends with this guy.
What?
No.
What?
I mean, I'm just saying, I understand what, as we grow up, we all have our temptations, and we all have our things that we try and don't try and all that. Me, I was always one. I didn't go very far, not for any other reason than I just wasn't interested.
I mean, I didn't see cocaine being used at a party until I was, I think, 24, maybe 23.
Yeah.
And
but at that point, you're like, no.
I was not going to imbibe, but I was, it hit me though. I was like, oh, it's this kind of party. Like, because it was just being done in the kitchen. Like, it might have been at other parties when people went to the bathroom or bedroom, but no. They just laid out a plate and started dicing it up, and then I just saw a guy. Like, I walked into the kitchen, and he just came up from doing a line. Yeah, and I was like, oh
yeah,
man. I was like, okay, like that. It's this kind of party. So
yeah.
So
are they having more parties like that?
Oh no, it's it's true. Even all joking aside, that the host of that party, she threw the best parties I ever went to in my life. Like, she would have them every year for her birthday. Bro, man, her parties were phenomenal. Because it was also the fact that like the guests that she had were all, for the most part, at least the ones I talked to, were all awesome people. Like, it wasn't that party where like that one dude or those two or three guys just ruined it for everyone else. No, man, everyone there was cool and chill, and we all had good drinks, good music, the whole nine. And then, like, I think her third party was when I saw the coke, and I was just like, "Yo, okay," Like,
now we know why your party is so lit.
Oh, absolutely,
right?
It was deeply, deeply illuminated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean,
please, Jared.
It's just it is what it is, man. As far as all that goes, I tell. It's like Davo said. Your decisions are your decisions.
Yeah.
Who do you have around you influencing those decisions is like, I think the bigger question, because, me, I'm not a follower. I never have been really. you know. But in that sense, like I'm not just going to go to the store and buy beer. I'm not just going to go to the store and do this and do that. Like I don't have any interest. I'm more of a social drinker or partier in that sense.
Right.
But you know,
What's funny about alcohol and all that, I literally have 6 or 7 different types of liquor in my freezer that are all like pint bottles. Most have been there more than 6 or 8 months, just because, ooh, hey, that drink looks good. Let's try that tonight. We'll make that drink.
Yeah.
And then throw the bottle back in the freezer, and 6 months later, it's like, when did we get such and such?
Yeah.
Yeah, when did we get this?
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
like,
the same with me though. I mean, because I remember a couple of buddies of mine. We went to the jacuzzi with some Guinness, and then
oh, that sounds like a blast right there,
bro. It was so delicious. But we had some Guinness, and but I was the one that bought it. And so I had like the 4-pack left, and there was one left, so I took it. I'm shit you not. That Guinness can, it was a canned Guinness. That thing sat in the fridge for a year and a half, if that, until my mother made her famous pot roast. And I was like, well, I know what exactly to pair with this is.
Yes.
And it was that one can of Guinness that had been waiting for its time to shine. And god damn, that thing was so good with that meal.
Have y'all heard of the chocolate Hershey's chocolate?
Yes, that stuff is disgusting.
No, it is
I
wonderful, sir.
hate that. Okay,
Oh my god, that was so
I had
good.
3 bottles because I had to like make sure it was like I was like
It
it's
wasn't
new.
a misprint.
Yeah, so I had one and I was like, okay, I don't know how I felt about that. I don't really like it, but I'm gonna have another one because maybe it'll grow on me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Had the second, I was like, I really want to say I liked it, and then I had the third and was like, okay, I don't like it.
Now, what this is the Hershey's what now?
Yingling.
No, I haven't had that. I haven't had
It personally, I
even
think it's
sound good.
phenomenal. And I just remembered because of this conversation, I have like 4 or 5 of them in my fridge that have been there for like 6 or 8 months.
You are the company you keep.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's funny because I have Modelo's from like a year ago still sitting in my fridge.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I've got
go ahead.
all
Please.
kinds of alcohol. Literally, if you open my fridge right now and you see all the different random types of alcohol, you're like, oh my God, this person's an alcoholic. No, it's just we buy it, we try it. It's either good or it's not good, and the rest just kind of stays in the fridge.
I say go make you a cup of coffee, Pike's Place, with some white chocolate mocha creamer.
That's goddamn. Yeah, world's best boss right there.
You know Iron Bank Coffee downtown, Jared?
Yes.
On Broadway?
Yes.
They have a latte called a Crunch Berry.
I bet that probably is pretty good.
A quad shot large Crunch Berry latte.
Man.
Oh.
It is
John looks
phenomenal.
Oh, I bet. John looks like if he takes more than one shot of espresso, he's wired.
Oh,
right?
That's a good question. No, I get the caffeine shakes.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. So, so actually, I just got a Chemex over this like past holiday season, and I'm starting fucking with them. I'm grinding the beans. I'm brewing them at the right temperature. I'm like, I'm doing the whole 9. Right. One day, I made this excellent pot. This excellent brew. I made this excellent brew. I have the entirety of it. I have 3 cups. Now, for about an hour, I was on ecstasy, man. I was like cloud 9. I was like really productive. I was talking really fast. I was doing all the I have never felt such artificial depression bestow upon me. I couldn't believe, dude. I was laying in the bed, curdled in the fucking weighted blanket. I felt so off. But when I went to that Blue Bottle joint that I was just mentioning in LA, I got a I think it was like the African blend or like the African like something like that. It was Ethiopian bean. I did that when the girlfriend was here and everything like that. I made like 1 cup for her, 1 cup for me. Oh my god. I didn't feel any of the after effects of like having too much coffee. I made an amazing brew with that. So it's like with coffee though, I just have to pace myself. But I do get the shakes. Like if I have too much, one day I had a Starbucks, like a latte, and then I was at college, and guess what rolled up? The beautiful women in the Red Bull Mini giving out free Red Bull. I had both of that without eating any lunch. I was sitting in class like this.
Oh,
And I just
dude,
felt
if I
really
go to
uneasy.
Starbucks, it's 4 shots of espresso.
Bro. So okay, so let's talk about Starbucks for just a second.
I went there today.
So for me, Starbucks, it doesn't matter if I have the coffee, a latte, anything that I have from Starbucks. It is bitter. Like it doesn't matter how much cream and sugar or whatever you put with it, or whatever kind of frou, half this, whatever that.
Instead of adding shit
It
to the coffee,
tastes bitter.
have you tried a different blend?
A different,
I'm
like a
talking
different
about the-
bean.
Yeah, like if you go to Starbucks and you always get a dark roast, it doesn't matter how much cream or sugar or whatever you add, it's always going to taste like a dark roast. I'm saying, have you tried a blonde or have you tried something different?
Blondes
it's
are
like
really good.
Okay, so you go to Starbucks and you order a like the salted caramel macchiato, right?
Oh, so we
Have
ain't
you
even
ever had
talking
that?
about. That's not coffee though.
Oh,
That's
but it has
dessert.
the espresso in it, right? Well,
yeah, you're right. I'm listening.
okay. All I taste is how bitter their coffee is. Their coffee grind or their beans or whatever. I taste that. That's all I taste.
That's the espresso, the bitterness.
I was gonna say
No,
you're
no, no,
not
no, no.
tasting the coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I've tried different drinks from there. When I went to Iron Bank, the past 2 times I've gone to Iron Bank, and I've only been there twice. And both of those were when we went to the recording studio because the loft is right there. So you literally, you walk down 3 flights of fucking stairs, you turn a corner, and right there's, the coffee place.
Oh yeah.
I got the crunch berry both times. The first time I just got, the standard large. Second time I got the large with, a quad shot instead of a double shot. Neither time did I taste any form of bitterness. I tasted the coffee.
I see what you're saying. So you think it's like a finer brew? They're making it better, something like that.
I think that, however they roast their coffee beans for Starbucks is hot garbage.
Well, that's why I was asking
I'll
if
agree
you
with
tried
that.
something different because each blend has got a completely different flavor profile for the base drink.
Yeah, so I'm either going to order a latte or a macchiato or something in that family.
None of that's coffee though.
Okay, but
No, we see your point. We're not trying.
the
I don't think Chris is
bitterness
trying to be a
coming
dick.
from the espresso is
I thought
disgusting from Starbucks. Whereas from Iron Bank, it's good. Like I've never had anything that tasted good from Starbucks aside from a frappuccino.
No, see now I gotta push back. I gotta push back just a little bit on that one. Now I'm not talking about coffee here, but they have this. Starbucks has this dragon fruit refresher that is mind-bogglingly good. They also have a guava. It's like more of a creamy like drink. It's also a refresher. But what I got today, because I wasn't feeling very well, like my tummy wasn't feeling well, but they have this citrus honey mint tea. It's like two different tea bags. So it's like a blended, like essentially like a blended kind of like drink. Man, like if you're having like any like heartburn or anything, it is like an instant solvent for that, man. It is phenomenal and it tastes good too. So like that's why I went today, was because I wanted some nice tea. But for coffee, no, I've been starting, like when you look at the cost versus like effort ratio, making your own coffee doesn't take that much effort. Especially if you have a K-cup or something like that, but I hate K-cups.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah, that's all I have.
But like, well, I got the Chemex now, and I'm like, so the taste, I got it. I'm just like, oh no, this is it. No plastic, no nothing. It is simple bean to water ratio. That's all it is, and a filter, of course.
Yeah.
But you rinse the filter so it doesn't catch any of that nasty like kind of linty anything like that. So you rinse that a little bit and let it go. Anyways, yeah, man. I mean, it just depends on where you get your coffee. Like Pete's pretty good. I mean, yeah, but Starbucks is serviceable. Oh, but you know, as a surprise, Mickey D's, bro.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
No. If you just get a decaf coffee from them, you are not upset. Our decaf.
Okay.
I got a decaf. It was me and the girl, and we were just coming back. We just had dinner. I was like, man, we need like something like like a coffee, like a cheap coffee. So we go to Mickey D's. We get 2 decafs, black. We were both just like, fucking A. Like it didn't burn you. It didn't hurt you. It wasn't too bitter, but it was serviceable. But it didn't insult you.
Yeah. I've always found like I don't know, like I've never actually had the black coffee from McDonald's, but like every time I go there, it just tastes like feet. Like every time I get it, I'm just like
You know
and it's
what
like
feet
just the one
taste
part.
like.
Oh yeah,
It's
hey
like-
Rollins, what's your girlfriend into, huh? Huh? What's your girlfriend into? You give her the 10-toe tongue, huh?
You know what my flavor of coffee is though? What I really enjoy going to get?
Yeah, what's up?
Dunkin' Donuts.
I was about to say that. That is
Really?
my
You guys
favorite.
are Dunkin'
Yeah.
guys?
No,
Dunkin'
dude, I
Donuts
hate
is the
Dunkin'
only coffee
Donuts
that I'll drink
coffee.
black. Like that's the only drop of coffee that I can just drink
Wow.
black. Like that's just
See, that's
I love it.
interesting because I only drink black coffee, and I'll drink Army coffee, dude. And I don't like Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
I
Oh,
love-
no.
I can literally black with just sugar drink Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
yeah.
I don't have to have cream with Dunkin' Donuts.
Damn.
It's like Dunkin' Donuts is like for me. I prefer it over Starbucks. Starbucks is just like the Apple of coffee, where it's like it's not bad, but there are better coffees out there.
Yeah.
They're just
Like-
really well advertised.
And what gets me with Dunkin' is the actual aroma of the coffee.
Yeah.
I love the smell of their
It's
coffee.
the heroin. God damn it, dude. You got your-
Little squirts.
Just for flavor, yeah.
Wow, that's why I can drink it black.
Rollins
Oh,
knows
man.
exactly what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's,
Well,
that's
I-
actually I have
Dunkin'
like
is
K cup after K cup of their
Yeah.
coffee.
Oh,
Yes,
the
their
K cups are
K-cups.
fine. The K cups are fine. I'm with you on that. I thought you were talking about going to Dunkin' primarily.
Oh no, well, that too.
I'll do that too.
I'll go to
Yeah.
Dunkin' and get that. But
Yeah.
like,
I've had their K cups, and they're worthy. They're drinkable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was gonna mention the last time I went to Dunkin', I had a donut because
Mhm.
it's called Dunkin' Donuts. So
Yeah.
I sounded
No,
like
it's
what was that?
Dunkin'
Was that a Shatner
You dunk it?
impression? It's
just
called
Dunkin'.
Dunkin'
Donut
Donuts.
now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just Dunkin'. That's right. So here's the thing. Their donuts tasted like plastic.
Mm.
Wait a minute. A
Okay.
block from my house, dude, I have a donut shop that makes their shit fresh at 12 a.m. every day.
Well, there you
So
go.
when you're there on your late nights of like junior college, when you and your buddies are just out of high school, not giving a fuck or care what you're doing with your life, you're up at 2 a.m. and you go there and you get their apple cinnamon bear claw.
Mhm.
Okay, man.
You hadn't done that.
No, see, and they're glazed too. Like, let me tell you, man. Like, I'm telling you, when you get I mean, it's a chain, or it's a franchise, right? It's a franchise, but it is one of those good franchises where it's
Oh,
like you
dude,
can you can taste the quality, the freshness. But Dunkin',
I used to work. Oh,
Go
I
ahead.
used to work at a Safeway,
Oh,
and
I remember
I
when
would.
you had this job. I remember you telling me the story.
Yeah, I told you about this. I woke up at 3 a.m. every morning to go and fry the donuts because I had to
Mhm.
make them fresh. Like fresh, quote on like big air quotes on that fresh. because they advertise it. It's fresh every day. Yes, I fry it every day, but I go into the freezer, pull out the stuff, let it like thaw,
no.
let it rise. It's just already pre-made dough, and it's already like cut in the circles. I just have to let the yeast rise. It's just the dough. Then I fry it, and then I have to do all that. And the reason I have to wake up at 3 a.m. is because the whole process is forever, and it has to be done by 8 a.m. And I would do that, and I hated the job because everybody was like, here, you got to do it this way. And then someone else would be like, why are you doing it this way? You're such an idiot. You got to do it this way. And I'll do that. And another person I've never met it was like, they were all my trainers. And I was in training for this one job for like 2 months, the entire time I was working there. And I was like, you know what? Fuck all of you. And I just like wrote a letter that was just like basically like a very professional long form version of, I hate every single one of you. This is why, bye. And just never showed up. But anyway,
With a
But, like,
PS, your donuts suck.
yeah. While I was working there, the people were talking about like, one of the other people had worked at Dunkin', and they were like, this is the exact same thing in Dunkin'. Like everything about this is the exact same way Dunkin' works. And I was like, this is disgusting. Like we never switched out the oil, we never cleaned it. It was just the same oil day after day after day.
Don't tell me that. God. Damn. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like we would add in new oil, but
Mhm.
like we wouldn't like drain the thing. It would just be like
You would drain it, filter it, and refill it.
yeah, it was just gross. Like, we wouldn't even clean the racks. Like because I mean honestly, it's because if you clean the racks, the oil on the racks helps the donuts not stick to the rack when you put it in the fry.
Go
It was
ahead.
gross.
No, well, I mean, and for those reasons, I must decline returning to this company. Sincerely, Ben. P.S. I fucked the last batch.
Literally.
Literally, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Well, guys, so looking at the timer here, we have been going for a solid hour and 40 minutes. It feels like
Jesus.
20. You guys,
Yeah,
we always have a
did.
good time. We always have a good time, but I think due to the Eastern Seaboard and my sanity, I call it a night to this show. I'm sorry. No, I'm kidding. You guys are great. No, so guys, we are the Alpha Idiots with special guests today, Ben Rollins. But we hope now with your new purchase, I know we press ganged you into that purchase, but luckily you made the right choice.
It was me. It was me. I did it.
Me. Well, hopefully we'll get you on camera. Chris, I know you're probably in some sort of situation why you turned off the camera. Totally fine. He probably pulled it. Dude, he's got that fucking Johnson & Johnson, man, right now. God damn it. He fucking pulled that shit out.
No, man, I'm still with you. I'm still with you.
Well, be sure to like, comment,
Well,
and
Jared,
please.
Jared will tell you though, just because you can hear me doesn't mean that's not the case.
He's fucking got a silencer on that shit, dude. He ordered that for fucking Heckler and Koch. And literally.
Oh, yeah.
And then he just fucking put a suppressor on the goddamn thing. He's polishing the fucking barrel.
Fun fact, Heckler and Koch is located here in Columbus, Georgia.
No shit.
Yep. They have an assembly plant on Macon Road.
Yeah, I've got
it's
an
one
AR
in
that
Virginia.
says Columbus.
There's one in Virginia too, you said?
Yeah, it's in between my legs.
Whoa.
Oh.
I had to do it.
All right. So, guys, we've been the Alpha Idiots. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on all of our socials. I hope you stay well, safe, and sexy out there. Gentlemen, sign off in your own lovely ways.
Later.
Peace up, A-Town down.
You guys are getting the audio only treatment from me tonight, baby.
Oh, peace, everybody.